I'm just so sad for the Redskins, man. I mean, to have played such a hard-fought game, to play your hearts out, and to get your asses whipped by the Philadelphia Eagles sucks, doesn't it? By the way, this is the closest shit I had to Redskins colors. So, hey, Washington, you got your ass beat. All right, y'all, let's get into the game reaction from what I saw.
3rd and 10. It's only a 3-man rush. Still pressure. Wentz just going to air it out. Going way deep down the field. He's got it.
All right. First thing first, Carson Wentz is back. I mean, the healthy Carson Wentz, the MVP level Carson Wentz. The Carson Wentz that went 28 of 39 for 313 yards and 8-yard average threw 3 touchdowns. Let's be real, it was 4 touchdowns, but whatever. We'll let them have their lateral run. And that spin move that Carson Wentz made late in the fourth quarter, it was like between the 6 and 7 minute mark in the fourth quarter, to where he I think it was really just a pump fake, but it kind of looks like on the film at game speed, it almost looked like a spin where he just, made Montez Sweat look like a dumbass. And I think it was Alshon he hit down for a first down. Jesus, bro. I mean, you talk about a person commanding the pocket. Bro, Wentz could have made a damn bologna sandwich back there yesterday because Wentz was not playing around. On the subject of Carson Wentz and this Philadelphia Eagles offense, dude, welcome back to Philly, DeSean Jackson. Man, he changes the entire feel of this football team on offense. Because I'm not saying that there won't be games where he's going to be absolutely taken away because people are going to refuse to get beat by DeSean Jackson. But the bottom line is you cannot go single coverage on any of us. Now, you're going to have to play cushion on DeSean, which is basically going to guarantee you can get 7 to 10 to 12-yard catches all damn day. Because there's no one who's going to try. If you try to play him pressed and you miss, woo, touchdown every damn time. And not one, but 2 50-yard bombs showing off that arm strength. Jesus, Wentz was just, hurling. And the second one, to be real with you, he went for DeSean, and he honestly was it was the wrong call, even though it resulted in a touchdown, because that play really should have gone to the other guy who was running down the seam wide ass open, which was our slot receiver. I mean, it was ridiculous yesterday. I know Aguilar had to be like, damn it, like I'm wide ass open, and damn DeSean's so damn fast that not much you can do about that. But damn, this offense looks explosive when it's on. There's only really one critique or one criticism I'm going to give about the offense. And I'm going to jump into that. The one critique that I'll give of the offense is, number one, just like last year, we started off slow. And I know this is game 1. We didn't play in the preseason really. Like, this was all about knocking the rust off, and I get it. What I don't understand is why we refuse to run the ball to set the tone of ball games, because it was quite obvious when we had Jordan Howard in there that we could set the tone of this ball game. Our offensive line and Jordan Howard's "I'm going to punch you in the mouth" running style, Washington wanted no part of that at all. They were praying that we gave the ball to our quicker, speedier backs. They did not want to go up against Jordan Howard because he was just straight running the ball down their throat. And that's where I want to kind of talk about that, which is my hope going forward in future games, especially when we get to teams like the Patriots, we get to teams like the Cowboys, the Packers, even next week when we get to Atlanta. I want to talk about what I hope we do from the running back perspective and the game planning perspective. In the future, I would love to see the Eagles actually start off with having Jordan Howard be the featured back. Because I'm going to be real. When Jordan Howard was in there and he was just straight up moving the entire Washington defense 3 or 4 yards down the damn field, man, it really, really made Miles Sanders and Darren Sproles explosive, especially Miles Sanders. I think the person who would benefit most from Jordan Howard absolutely taking away the will of defenses to want to play is Miles Sanders. Because on that touchdown that got called back, that was all Jordan Howard taking the fight out of that Redskins defense. And then when you get a guy as elusive and as fast as Miles Sanders in there to follow it up, Bro, talk New England all you want to. This team is way more explosive even than New England with Antonio Brown, who's going to ruin that franchise. I'm saying it straightforward. If we utilize the run the way we should, draw the secondary, the front seven of teams up like New England, like Green Bay, like Chicago, right? Like Dallas, teams that can play a little defense. If we draw that back seven up, trying to stop Jordan Howard, trying to stop Miles Sanders, Jesus, whew, I'm telling you right now, DeSean Jackson's going to burn that ass. Alshon Jeffrey's going to burn that ass. Nelson Aguilar is going to burn that ass. Zach Ertz is going to burn that ass. Dallas Goedert's going to burn that ass. Okay? If we ever have time to even work J.J. Arcega-Whiteside into this, he's going to burn that ass. Because, man, I'll tell you, when things flow through that running game, I mean, we basically went on, a 32-10 run. And let's be real, it was a 32-3 run. Because 3 of those points, well, I'll give them this. It was really, I want to say it was like 32-13, actually. But you really got to take away 7 of those points. It was really 32-6 run because 7 points where it was just trash dumpster time where we were playing sticks defense and we couldn't have given a crap about them running the ball down the field. We knew the game was over. But, whew, we really need to run this offense through Jordan Howard, the running game, and then have Miles Sanders be that, basically that change of pace back because we just looked like a different team when that was happening in the second half. It really made this Eagles offense. I mean, it took the fight completely out of Washington. Like, Washington had no will to want to keep playing that game defensively. They were just beaten and they knew it. On the defensive side of the ball, yeah, we need to do some work there. We're not going to, we could, I'll say this, even if we are as horrible as we look in the secondary, we probably could still win the NFC East. We probably could still be competitive in the playoffs. We might even make it to the Super Bowl, but I highly doubt we're going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy with our secondary looking the way it looked yesterday. Now, I'll say this. I think some people are overreacting, and they're acting as if, like, our team can't play. Our defensive backs can't play at all, and that's not what happened. I think it was a lot to do with game one jitters. To me, it looked like there was a lot of miscommunication in the secondary, and I think that stuff will get cleaned up. And I do think some of the guys back there, I thought Darby had a fairly decent game. I mean, yeah, the one play Doxson made on him was, or not Doxson, wow, he's gone. The one play that the Rook made on him, like, it was just a good ball play. Like, he had positioning, everything was right. He just made a hell of a play. You got to give McLaurin his credit. He made a hell of a play on the ball. I thought he played well. I thought Sidney Jones played well for the majority of the game. To me, the one that was surprising, it wasn't Rasul Douglas because I think that was more communication and just bad matchups. Like, we've got to be better with personnel. You can't put him on an island against a speedster like that. I mean, that's not on Douglas. That's not on Rasul. That's on the coaching staff. That's on the communication. Like, no way in hell that should happen. I think we're going to fix that up. But I am looking at it. It caught my attention, and I'm watching it for this next game against Atlanta. That stuff's got to get cleaned up because it didn't look good. I came in really worried about the linebackers and thought the linebackers played wasn't bad. They weren't the Achilles heel. We got to get that secondary's got to get cleaned up. The communication was way off. You could tell. Scheme wise, it made no sense at times. Like, we've got to clean those little things up. Look, I think Schwartz is a good defensive coordinator. Like, say what you want to, but all those Shorts gave up like fucking 500 yards to Brady. We wouldn't have won that Super Bowl without his defensive line and his calls there. So I think Schwartz, I think he'll get it under control. But it did scare me a little bit, I'll admit. I'm not a defensive coordinator. Most experience I have playing defense because early Pop Warner. I mean, most of the time I played more of a split end type positioning when I played. But from what I could see was on the defensive line, we need to utilize more movement there. I do think we need to mix in more blitzes, although some of y'all are just, this is not Jim Johnson's defense. We're not going to be blitzing the way Jim Johnson did. But we can use movement on the line. So we can do things like stunts, right? We can stand the players up instead of putting them down in a 3-point stance. I mean, there's other things that we can do to make sure that we get the pass rush home, because we've got to get the pass rush home. We cannot leave better quarterbacks like Matt Ryan the amount of time we were giving Case Keenum to throw. That cannot happen again. It was way too much time. We've got to get pressure on him. And I do agree with some of you guys to an extent about the blitzing. Like, you got to mix some blitzes in here and there because they're not going to expect it to begin with. So, blitzing maybe once a series, once every other series, it's going to be good because it's going to keep them off balance. With that said, I think that's what we need to see is we need better production from our defensive ends. I think we need to be utilizing his substitutions more. DeSean Hall needs to be put in there on those third and longs. You know what? Josh Sweat. We've been raving about him. When I say we, I mean you, coaching staff. Let's see him be let loose. We've got to keep Brandon Graham and we've got to keep Barnett, healthy, and we've got to give them breaks and they've got to have breathers. They need to stay fresh in these games, especially Barnett, because Barnett he's got a tendency to kind of fade if you leave him in there too long. So we've got to keep these guys fresh. And Malik Jackson, I hope that's not a major injury because that would be disappointing because it's going to mess with our depth a little bit. Okay, guys, in closing, really the only thing I can say is this. Carson Wentz is back. Man, he looked good yesterday. There were a few times where even I was like, damn, scramble, run. And then he just pulled his eyes, looked back downfield, and he made a nice throw. I mean, I think he's taking these things seriously. He's really developing his game, and I'm telling you, he's playing at an MVP level. I'm just going to go out there and say it right now. Carson Wentz played at an MVP level yesterday. And I'm hoping he can continue that. Because if this kid plays at an MVP level, we're going to be hoisting that Lombardi. All right, y'all. Here's the deal. I'm about to jump off here, so if I could get you guys to do 3 things for me. Like the video. Subscribe, guys, please. I need subscribers. And then third, comment. Tell me what you saw. What do you think? What about that running back rotation? What do you guys think about defensive coordinating? What do you guys think about the personnel selection? Let me know your thoughts, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out. EAGLES. Eagles.